there's been a lot of studies that in research that said that if you want to be successful, you need to be able to delay gratification. You need to be able to delay instant gratification. Let's think about that, and let's think how instant gratification is playing a role in our life, in what that would look like for future generations, and how that is affecting people's resiliency and success in the world. There was a famous study called the marshmallow test. So, and basically, it was a test where they took kids. I think they were about 8 years old, 10 years old. So they would take a bunch of kids and they would take it in a room for an hour, and they told the kids, hey, in an hour I'm going to come back and I'm going and so they basically got a bunch of kids and they put them together, in each one in a table. In each table had a marshmallow. So in the marshmallow, the researcher told the kids, hey, I'm gonna come back in an hour. If you don't eat the marshmallow, I'm gonna give you 2 at the end of the hour. And then they came back, and then some kids ate the marshmallow. They couldn't wait the hour, and the other kids waited. And when the researcher came back, the kids who waited got another marshmallow. Here's where it gets interesting. And then they took the names of the kids, they took the information, and then when they came in, and then like 30 years after, they went to see and they went to rate their success rates and everything. And then what they realized was that the kids who waited the hour and didn't eat the marshmallow when the hour ended were the kids who were the most successful, because they were able to delay instant gratification. Let's think about that. So, and there's a lot of ways that where all of us, we are always giving ourselves instant gratification all the time. Whether if we are bored, we take our phones and we're not bored anymore. If we want to watch a movie, we turn on the TV, or we have YouTube. If we are whatever, if we want to buy a new phone, if you want to buy a new pair of shoes, go to Amazon.com and then get it in 2 hours or 60 minutes. If you're gonna get food, same thing, all fast. And I'm not advocating against technology. No, I love technology, and technology is great. However, there are some consequences or side effects per se that are affecting our life, and that could affect people's success and how we react per se to the world. And it's almost like we've gotten to a point of society where technological progress and technological innovation always encourages instant gratification. But if you think about it, if you're going to be successful, you kind of have to do the opposite of what society is telling you to do. I mean, society isn't telling me to buy things from Amazon and getting an hour, but kind of controlling ourselves. And when we have to control ourselves, we really can't, because we're animals. We come from animals, right? So how do we encourage instant gratification? How do we delay instant gratification? How should we think about instant gratification, what that means for our society, in our world? So I think last week, my mom was scrolling down to an Instagram, and then there was a kid, and it was for like a minute, there was a kid who, so like their parents were recording the kid, and then So yeah, so they were recording the kid, and then what they were doing, so they had a phone. The kid didn't know there was a phone in there, and then the mom told the kid, hey, don't eat this cookie, and then I'll come back. If you don't eat it, I'll give you two. So it was really interesting because the kid didn't eat it. It was like for like a minute. So the kid didn't eat it when the mom came. The kid ate two. I think that's a little too extreme. I don't think you need to necessarily do that per se. I mean, that's kind of bogus or like dumb, like kind of like playing with your kid per se. But I think what is important is that if we are bored, we should be bored. If we are sad, we should be sad, and we should feel sad. We should feel bored. And instead of trying to always use your phones to kind of put a band-aid for our needs and feels and what we feel, we should actually feel those emotions, feel those things, and go through those moments, and wait. But almost like that's something I think about. If you're gonna be successful, you're gonna be really successful. Like almost the opposite of a society. Yes, like don't. If you buy something from Amazon, I don't get it in an hour. If you can wait, just get it in an hour, of course. But if you can't wait, put it like in a week, or put it the latest thing on the latest date, so you can wait and you can muscle and discipline your discipline muscle. And the last thing I say, and the bottom line is that delaying gratification is important. It's something that we should encourage to kids. But if you're not a kid anymore, what you should do is that you should always try to work and train your discipline and delay your instant gratification by not necessarily doing things or buying things or getting things instantly, but waiting and really being self-aware of that while you're doing certain things, and whether you're covering or putting a band-aid over your emotions or what you're feeling. For example, if you're depressed or you're bored and you're using your phone, I don't think you necessarily maybe see yourself and then realize that, hey, maybe you shouldn't be using your phone because you're feeling this, or maybe you shouldn't be working too hard because you're doing this, instead of actually, so like asking yourself, why am I doing this and why am I feeling certain things, would really help you. I hope that was helpful. Let me know in the comments what you think and whether you experience delayed gratification. Thank you so much.